Is he recording?
I don't know.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he's recording.
I hope so. Okay, we've finally caught up with the busiest DJ in trance at the moment. This is Marlo.
Hello, guys.
Marlo, how many gigs have you done this month?
Oh, this month, I think 6 so far.
6 so far.
There's another one tomorrow and a few more, so...
Busiest DJ in trance. So, do you plan your set when you know you've got a gig coming up? Do you plan your set? Do you know what you're going to play?
No, I don't plan at all, actually. I have no idea what I'm playing until I'm standing in the booth. I like to completely go off what the crowd is doing and what I feel myself. So it depends on what mood I'm in and what emotions I'm feeling at that point and what I would like to hear if I was in the crowd. And that's how I take every track. You know, I play the first track and then I think, what would I like to hear now? I look through it and I go from there.
That's a good point.
There's a few tracks, of course, that I really want to play in a set, which is usually my own thing. That I'll try and play every set because people come to hear those songs.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, a lot of people don't know who Marlo is, so here's your chance to blow your own trumpet. What have you produced? Tell them about some of the stuff you're producing.
Okay, well, I'll start at the top. The biggest thing I've just done is a remix for Ferry Corsten. That's probably the biggest breaking point in my career.
Yes.
And also a big song for me was my Key of Life remix, which got played by Tiesto and Armin and Van Buuren and lots of others.
That's pretty big.
I was so humbled by it and it felt amazing. And since then I've done a lot of original things which will come out in a month. And I'm very excited about it all.
Great. So you're originally from Holland, yes?
Yeah, I sort of go back and forth between Australia and Holland.
Do you?
So I lived there until I was 14.
Yes.
And then I did high school in Sydney. And then I went back to Holland again for about a year or so. I came back to Sydney and back and forth. And now I've been in Melbourne for about a year. And before that I was in Holland again for 18 months. So I live between the two places. I like to consider myself as Dutch Australian.
So how's the trance scene compared to like the European scene? How do we compare?
Amazing, you know. Yeah, it's amazing. In Melbourne there's such a strong following and such a great support every week for trance events, you know, sometimes 2 times a week in club gigs.
I know.
Whereas in Europe it's more big festivals and during the week you never have any trance. Yeah, on a weekly basis you can't find trance. It's only the really, really big event. So it's my favorite place in the world at the moment to live is in Melbourne.
Lucky you said that. So what's the biggest crowd you've played in front of?
It would be either when I did some work for Cirque du Soleil, that was at Uitmarkt, that attracts 500,000 people over 3 days, and I played the closing set for that. That was amazing. I don't know how many people were there, probably 10,000 or so.
Wow.
And the other big one is Trance Energy in Holland, which all up attracts about 30,000 people. I was playing on the Future stage. I guess about 8,000 people or so.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, after that, my next question was going to be, what's your dream gig? Like, what's the ultimate gig for you?
Okay.
If you could do any gig in the world, what would it be?
It's good you asked that because when I first started producing, the one goal I always set for myself was, well, I set a few. The first one was to one day play at Home nightclub in Sydney.
Yes.
And I did that pretty quick. Actually, my goal was to have one of my tracks played in Home nightclub. But I never thought I would actually play there, and I got to play there. And then my next goal was to play at Trance Energy one day in Holland, because I think that's as high as you can go in trance music.
Yes.
And so when that dream came true, I was very happy, and yeah, I'm just really enjoying the moment.
So what's next? What do you want to do next?
I would love to play at Sensation.
Yeah. So what's stopping you?
Look, these decisions aren't always up to me.
Yeah,
I'm not too busy on trying to get gigs.
Yeah.
I'm much more busy on trying to make good music that people enjoy and that I enjoy to make.
Yeah.
For me, it's more important to have artistic creativity and look, first and foremost, I love doing what I do.
Yeah.
So that's my. I guess if I had to choose one goal, is to completely, for the rest of my life, be able to live off doing what I love doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter you know, of course you set sort of goals of like, wow, I'd love to play at that event, or I'd like to be signed to that label, but the best thing in the world would be if I can make money doing what I love doing for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. I think everyone has that dream though, to do what they love to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, if you had any advice to any up-and-coming DJs, well, how does a DJ break into the nightclub scene? Like, what's your advice to up-and-coming DJs?
Instead of asking the question of what can they do for me, ask yourself the question, what can I do for them? It's really important, and it took me a long time to learn that. You need to have something to offer. There's a lot of things that you can offer. It's you know, if you have lots of friends that you can bring to an event, or if you can produce music, or if you've had a big track. I think now to be a big DJ, you need to be able to produce. Yes. And you need to have a few tracks out. But first and foremost, like any business is the same, it's who you know, not what you know. You know, the same rules of business apply whether you're, you know, a corporate guy or whether you're an artistic guy. It's the same thing. Yeah.
You know what I find interesting about that? You never said mixing skill or anything like that.
I think
it's not the top, it's not the priority, is it? It's not the first thing that someone looks for.
I think mixing is something you need to be able to take for granted.
Yeah.
I think if you're approaching a booking agent or a promoter, of course you need to be able to mix.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people can mix, you know. A lot of young kids, 15, 16, are learning how to mix now with the help of CD decks or Ableton or there's lots of different ways you can mix tracks. I think it's, of course you need to mix.
Yes.
But I think promoters take that for granted, that you can mix.
That you can,
It's about how many people you can pull and what you've achieved in your career.
Let's face it, we could train a monkey to beat mix. Anyone's a DJ, anyone can beat mix. It's all the other things that you need to do to get you there.
Right, yeah.
Well, excellent. It's been a pleasure, Marlo. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
See you at the next gig.
For sure. Take care.